Hey guys, this is Ambasa here from Oracle Institute. Let's say there are two questions asked for you to answer. One of them is how to take the Oracle database control file backup in the trace format. That's a question number one. And how to recreate the control files from the above backed up the control file in the trace format. Let's see with the demonstration how to do this, both the question answered along with practical. Let's begin. For that, I will be just connecting to one of my database machine. This is my one of the database machine where I'm just checking what is the current running instance. I can just verify it here. This is my instance name ORCL, where I need to go ahead and connect and take the control file backup in the trace format. For that, I will be just setting my environment variable, and in this case my instance name is ORCL. I can just type it and then I can log into this respective database. So once you connected to this particular database instance, and you can verify how many currently the control files are configured. You can verify here. Total there are original control files are 2. So make sure that the minimum 1 control file is required, and maximum we can have up to 8 control files. But due to the database is created through DBCA, it has been given a 2 control file. It has been configured with 2 control file. Now these control files are the binary file. That means it is not a human readable format. Our main task is how do you take this control files information in the text format. It is sometimes called trace format. For that, I'll just type it this command: alter database backup control file to trace as, and give the path and the file name. An example, I'll be just typing this one. So here what you have to tell, you have logged into specific instance, and then you need to tell that to take the control file backup, which is control file backup in the text format, other word in the trace format, you have to use the to trace and then followed by in a single quote along the as keyword. This is the file path and this is the file name. The purpose of this control file backup is if you lost both control file which are binary, then how do you recreate them? That's what the next question here. So for that, what I will do, I will be doing it, I will be just showing you with a demonstration how to recreate them. So don't do it in a production. This is just for a practice as well as understanding about how the concept works. In this example, what I'll be doing it, I'll be just removing this both the control file. Here you can see that. Just take rm command. Here I removed both. Now I can verify are they present. Obviously no. That means we lost my original control file. So they are right now no more present. What I did here is I just mentioned that in the SQL prompt I given the exclamation options. That means it is going to the OS level temporarily, and then again coming back and saying that this is what it is completing the command, and then backing again coming back to the SQL prompt. This is what the exclamation says. Here going to the OS level, what it has to be performed, it has to perform remove with recursive forcefully, and these are my control file, both control file what you want to simulate the crash. That means this control file is now no more available at the OS level. You can see that they are not present. So what would be the problem if I see that if they are stopped now? An example, you do stop it just to test that what happens if you trying to stop it. The database will get stopped or not, we will see that. The command which I just typed here is show immediate, that's sometimes called shutdown immediate. You can write down shutdown entire keyword, or you can just keyword used shu. Wait for this to be shut down, and then we will begin with how do you go ahead and prepare the control file back. Meanwhile, what I will just try to duplicate this session. I am just typing this one more in the terminal. What I am doing it, I am just trying to say that login again with Oracle. What is my OS user right now? I just logged in, obviously Oracle again. And what I am just checking, and this I will be now checking. So the one which we backed up earlier, you see in this file what is there in the this backup. This backup has a lot of output. Maybe you can see that very beginning you will see this start with comment line. This is start with the comment line, and overall how many lines you can able to see here. Let me just show you. There are 185 lines. This is what the number of lines you can see here. 185 lines we have it. Out of that, there are many more comments, many more lines are commented with a symbol of hyphen hyphen. That means they are all commented. Commented means this line is just for reference. They are not execute in the prompt. That's what the meaning of the comment. Once you know that, okay, this is what we have backed up, but major point I need to understand here is search with the keyword create control file and bit of scroll down. I can just take scroll down and you can see here. What is my point to note here? If I lost my control file, then I need this create control file syntax. This control file create syntax is required if you lost all the control file, and this is what we have simulated in the previous terminal. You can see here what we did. We have noted 2 control file, we backed up. That's what the backup, what it says I just mentioned, and we removed it both. Now they are no more exist. We try to do shutdown, but what happens here is the first operation called database closed is perfectly fine, but due to control files are not able to refer, they are not able to close, hence the database dismount is not working. There is a database closed, database dismounted, and instance shutdown. This is the 3 operations it has to perform once you run the command shutdown immediate. Let's go ahead and now refer the direct command with sometime you should not refer this, but here due to it is not able to shut down, I am using this shutdown abort. Now instance is directly shut down, that's fine. What I will do, I will now try to do startup. What happens if I try to do a startup where your control file is lost? Obviously you cannot start up. It's a simple way where you cannot start up. Okay, let's recap what all things has been done. What we have done it, let me just explain it one by one. Here we said that we started with connected to this machine, and later once you connected to this machine, you noted that okay, there is a number of control files are originals are 2. To identify that, you have referred this particular line. This is my line which I just referred. Select name from without control file. Without control file is a dynamic performance use where it will maintain this control file path and file name. Minimum 1 control file is required, but due to DBCA we have able to see that there are 2 files are present, and we backed up in the text format which is called trace format. Now we have a safer side that backup is present. In the other word, we have a create control file syntax is ready with us, and we are losing now control file. This is just a simulations, don't do it in production. Once you know that this control files are lost, you are able to see that at the OS level cannot access. Hence, if I try to do a shutdown, what happens in this case? It is definitely what you will do. You will see that this shutdown is partially completed, database closed, but unable to do the closing of control file called database dismounted. Due to it is not able to do database closed, database dismounted. So that means it is unable to close the control file. We did a shut abort. This is what we call shutdown abort. This is clear indications that don't, you can say, the perform the control file closing, directly close my instance. This is one step you are you can say skipping. Once it is done, this is instance is shut down. That means we try to do startup and instance started. That means memory allocated, background process started, but again identifying control file is the error. So that means you can see that there is a control file problem. If I try to do this alter database mount, and what happens in this case, it will give this same error. Alter database mount, other word, open the control file. But here control file is no more exist. Obviously we simulated a remove or lost. In that case it is no more present, so no more able to open. No more able to open, other word, no more able to do mount. What is the next? Obviously I need to get it back from the backup. But I have a backup, yes, I have a backup. What the backup says, you should take this create control file syntax from which line to which line, obviously from create syntax 2 up to this character set semicolon. Let me just take this syntax and just type it on the right side, on the left side where we are open the another terminal. Let's do it. Here you go. This is a copy paste this value and go to the previous terminal. So currently my instance is started. You can see here, select name open mode from $database. This command will works only when your database is mounted. Here database not mounted, this command will not work. For that case, I'll say here column instance name format 820 set lines 200 and pages 1000. I'm just typing select the instance name and its status from $instance. What this command is supposed to say, Oracle instance started. That means you can see here in this case Oracle instances started. Started but not mounted. Started means it's given the memory plus that is we called SGA and respective connections required PG also plus the background process. But during the opening the control file we got this message. That's we even tried one more time. It is same error is again mentioned. To solve this problem, what we did we just tried to rerun the command with the select name open mode from database. Remember this database works only when your database is at least in the mount state. Since it is right now just instance started, sometime called no mount, it's not mounted called no mount, hence it is not able to give you the output from this view. What you have to do it, you have to just say instance started and then you can just see that it is instance started. And now the next one is we can verify this instance is started and we will go ahead and see that Oracle supposed to be now not able to mount the database. We will go ahead and re-prepare that control file. So for that we have taken the all syntax from the backup and I can just copy paste from here and run it. So this will give me a control file back. Number of control files are as it is like what you have earlier. Let's go ahead and check that we do have this syntax ready. Now we see that there is a 1 minute here. These are my control files are back. That means these control files are back. That means your database is right now in the mount state. Select instance name status from $instance. See, it is mounted. So that means now here I can see that database is $instance says that it is mounted. Same way I can even go ahead and check that my another view, select name open mode from database. Here also it says the same Oracle your database instance is mounted. Now the point here is once your control file is created, automatically it becomes mounted. So you have to just say that now I try with the command alter database open. So I just prepared control file back and we are not losing any other than the control file. That means my next step would be just open the database. Open the database nothing but open the data files, open the redo files. Those are opening during the alter database open. Once it is open, then we can go ahead and check here either you can check with this command or even you can check this command. So both will show you the status column says that it's open and open mode will show you right now we haven't mentioned after open read only or read write, it's by default read write. Just waiting for this to open. Once it is open we are done. So the question previously we have noted that what exactly the question asked, how to recreate a control file. So answer to that question is you need to open your create sentence from your backup and that sentence you have to run it at least in the no mount state. So your instance is already started in no mount state. If not, then you have to start in the no mount state. Then copy paste this all value in the no mount state. So once you write those no mount those syntax, your control file gets created, and you can see that physically those files are back, plus you can see now they are mounted, and you can also check now once it is opened after the control file gets created, you have tried to open with the command of this. Here it says that it is now opened in the read write mode. That's it. This is what the activity has been asked to perform, or what is the question has been asked, like how do you take the control file backup in trace format. That's what demonstrated. Plus, how do I use that control file backup in the traced, how do you you can say recreate a control file which has been backed up in the trace format and use them once you lose those all the control file. This is only required when you lost all the control files. So if you have lost only one control file, then you can easily prepare it from that. The existing control file, you can use it to prepare the lost one. Okay, that's how the question has been answered along with demonstration. Thank you for watching this video. Take care and bye bye.